As we begin looking at programming in C++, we find that C++, as well as every programming language, has a number of keywords or reserved words. They have special meaning. You can't use them for variable names. Some of the keywords in C++, int, float, double, for, while, void, and these are reserved and have special meaning in the C++ language. Now, we're also going to now look more at outputting data, and the cout function outputs data to the console, to the screen, in other words, and it's part of the IOStream library used to output information, as I said, to the screen. It includes methods for formatting your output. It uses what we call the insertion operator, which is two less than signs, sometimes called a piping symbol, to pipe or send data from whatever's on the right into the cout function in order to get your data output. Some of the things with cout for formatting is we can put control or escape characters. The backslash inside of double quotation marks is the escape character. Backslash n moves you to the beginning of the next line. Backslash t moves you over to the next tab stop, and I never use that because I want more control over spacing than the tab. If I want to actually display a double quote, I use the backslash double quote. And if I want to display a backslash, use the backslash. There are some other escape characters, but these are the only ones I really ever use. And if I need any of the others, I actually have to look them up anyway. If you look here, we've got a program, and I've got my comments at the top. They are collapsed. I've got my include, and we'll talk about using namespace standard later. Got my main, and here I've got three variables. I've said int num equals 42. Now that equal sign doesn't mean equal. The equal sign is what's called an assignment operator. And it says whatever's on the right, assign that value to the variable on the left. So I've defined an integer, a floating point number that's a double or double precision, and a character, and given the character t. Now, here I've got two couts. One says this is text, and the other one says more text. If I run the program now, it outputs those two lines, but they're on the same line. They're on the same line because I've never told the cout to go to a new line. I can do it inside the quotes with a backslash n, and if I run it now, that text is on two lines. I've got some code that I have already written, and here I've got the even more text, and you see this endl at the end. That's an end of line. Instead of the new line, I can pipe over and do, in this case, an endl. What that does is tell the cout the first thing on closest to the cout will be sent first. So it takes this first information and it sends it to the cout. Then, because I've got another set of piping symbols, it will take the next piece of information and send it to cout, and the next until we get to the semicolon. Every C++ command has to end in a semicolon. So here we've got that. Here we've got some text because it's in double quotes, and then a variable, the number or num variable, and then a new line. If I've only got text on a line like here, I'll usually do a new line. But whenever I've got text and a variable, I'll end it with an endl. And I've done the same here. Now, when I run this now, and I look at the output, this is text. Let's move this up a little bit. The second line, more text, even more text, all on separate lines. Num equal num. What's in quotes is done or output exactly as it's in quotes. Here it's the variable. So it said num equal and the variable 42. And here num equal and the variable num2, which is 9.4. Notice the equal sign here is right up against the 9. Well, that's because I did not have a space inside the quotes, so it puts it right up against it. The space with the C, the character, put the space in. So when I am doing my couts, I can control spacing inside the quotes. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe.